4Radio.com.
PRCA Silver was founded in 1997. Our goal today remains the same as it was back then, to provide you, our customer, with a quality custom buckle at an affordable price. From 1 to 100, our buckles are all made one at a time by hand. Our only limit is your imagination. Give us a call today at 800-550-7535 and let us help you design your next trophy buckle. That's PRCA Silver, Llano, Texas. Find us on Facebook or at PRCASilver.com. Proud to be part of She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls.
Rebecca Lawler Limited is the culmination of a lifelong dream for philanthropist and designer Rebecca Lawler. She designed her patented, unique glass heart, which is handcrafted by glass artists in Virginia. Placed in the center is a brilliant gem. The heart can be worn with the Rebecca Lawler Limited signature ribbon or an awareness ribbon of choice. To join the mission of the Hearts of Hope Foundation and add a Rebecca Lawler signature heart to your own personal style, go to RebeccaLawlerLimited.com. That's RebeccaLawler Limited.com.
American Hat Company is known throughout the world as the hat preferred by rodeo champions, ranchers, everyday cowboys, cowgirls, and rodeo fans. From the arena to the boardroom, no one does it better. Handmade in Bowie, Texas, American hats are made with tradition in the old-fashioned way. From the finest in felts to the best in straws, there is an American hat for every occasion. The CB Cowgirls are proud to have our ambassadors wearing the #1 hat in the world. Thank you, American Hat. Find your own American hat at your favorite retailer. American Hats, handcrafted since 1915.
She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls is proud to have as our charity of choice Man Up Crusade. Man Up is working in the Western world to reduce domestic violence in society and contribute to social change by promoting safe and healthy relationships. Growing up in a violent home is one of the most terrifying and traumatic experiences a child can go through. Let's work together to help those afflicted to stand and know they're not alone. Find out more at manupcrusade.com. Take a stand and break the cycle of domestic violence.
This is 4Radio, a media platform used to elevate voices and empower dreams.
All right, rodeo fans, it's time for She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. Introducing your host, Becky Christensen, and co-host Vicky Christensen O'Shields. Presented to you by Boyd Gaming. Hey, let's ride.
Well, good evening to the show. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful start to their week. This is your host, Becky Christensen Mapston, and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this special broadcast tonight. It is April. It is spring. The other thing I want to say, happy birthday to my son. It's his birthday. He's 21. He ditched his mom because he's 21, but that's okay. We love him anyway. And it's also the NCAA championship game tonight, and our hometown Gonzaga Bulldogs are in the final championship game tonight. So a lot of things are happening up here in the Great Northwest tonight, and we're getting ready to cheer them on. But tonight we are going to cheer on some family, and it is a really special broadcast tonight. So before we talk about what tonight's broadcast is about, I want to bring on my co-host and guest co-host. So first, of course, my beautiful aunt, Vicky Christensen O'Shields. Vicky, are you there?
I am, Becky, and I'm sorry. I had to get tickled when you were talking about Brandon because, you know, a 21-year-old's been there, done that. So I understand. But happy birthday to Brandon. What a handsome young man he is.
Oh, yes. A little too handsome for his own good. But you know what? He's got good genes. What can I say? No, I'm just kidding. Speaking of great genes, let's bring on our Ms. U.S. Ambassador for She's Gone Country, the CB Cowgirls, our guest co-host and dear friend, Bobby Jean Olson. Bobby Jean, are you there?
I am here and 21 years old. That just gives me goosebumps all over because it won't be much longer and I'll be standing there in your boots, Becky. So take a deep breath.
Oh, goodness. Well, it's good evening, and we're going to get right to it. Now, I know tonight is a special night, and I'm just going to let you guys know that we may go a little bit over. We're just going to wing it tonight and see how the night rolls because we really want to honor the news that we received this last week. You know, it is going to, I think, be in August, but they just announced the PRCA ProRodeo Hall of Fame inductee class for 2017. And what a triple, trifecta, whatever you want to call it was for all of us within the Christensen family and the Tatum family and the Custer family and the extended family of the Corley. We just had so many, it was just like boom, 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 back to back. And so the first person I want to bring on, and so well-deserved, I'm just so excited. I'm excited to hear stories because that's what I live for. And that is my dear, I don't want to say dear old dad, but my dear poppy daddy, Bobby Christensen Jr. Dad, are you there?
Yeah, happy birthday, Brandon. And if you think it makes your mom feel old, how about Grandpa?
No kidding. My goodness. I'm not old. He just, he's just got a young mom. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Best way.
So, Dad, okay, so let's talk with our audience a little bit, the induction ceremony and the inductees. The first inductee, we're going to talk with you for a little bit. We do have Cody Custer coming on, and we're going to talk about just this whole great family affair and the generations and how everything that they do at the ProRodeo Hall of Fame is so important. Our heritage is important, our roots are important, and it's why we do what we do on the show. Dad, we got together earlier this year, and we've always, every time I see you, we talk about that great horse on the wall in your house. And he did it. He got into the hall this year. So tell our listeners all about your nomination.
Well, it's like my dear sister and I were talking. It's been 34 years, long time coming, but it was well deserved, I always felt that eventually Smith & Val would be in there because he was the first ever 4-time world champion bareback horse. So I was elated, and I'm very happy about it. And then I find out my brother Randy Corley's going in, and then I find out that my little pal Cody Custer that spent many years on our ranch is going in. So it was quite a trifecta, like you say, Becky.
Well, Bobby, this is your sister, and again, as a family, we couldn't be more proud. Always part of the rodeo family, but again, like Becky said, this 2017 class of inductees to the ProRodeo Hall of Fame in Colorado Springs is extra special to us. But Bobby, if you could please give a little background on Smith & Velvet. I mean, our listeners, not all of them are familiar with what a great horse he was. So tell them a little bit about him, please.
Well, I guess he is kind of like a person. Greatness develops, I hope, as you get older and you learn. When we first got him, he was pretty great for the area he was in at the Paiute Indian Reservation in a little arena over there in McDermott, Nevada, that has about 3 or 4 chutes, and there wasn't anybody over there that could handle him, so we kept hearing about him, and Bob Abel called me, and so I finally talked my dad and Jerry Hickson to going over there and trying this horse out, and they did, and he bucked Mr. Hickson off 3 or 4 times in the same day, so we bought him, and went from there, and he was showy, but he was, I don't know, he was like a young kid, tall on stilts and thin, and yet he was mature, and he was a great draw if he wouldn't stop or spin, and he started doing that in the bronc riding, so we moved him to the bareback riding, and I got an email the other day from Ronnie Cole, said he won Bremerton on mine one time when he never stopped, and he just got so he'd buck 5 or 6 seconds and go to whirling, so wasn't sure what to do. I had a lot of advice, well, he should go there, you should get rid of him, this and that, but when you seen him buck, I mean, you seen poetry in motion. So I turned him out for, 2 years or so and brought him back. I just couldn't face letting that horse go. And we brought him back and put him in the slack in Oakdale, California, our opening rodeo that year. And Jack Ward, the world champion, drew him. And he bucked Jack off in the slack. And it just went on from there.
Well, I just remember as a kid that big yellow horse, and Dad, I look back at pictures, and I can see, and what I'm curious to know is, you said you turned him out to put a little bit of weight on him, and you can see where he in the pictures where he was a little bit thinner, and then you did turn him out, and he came back, and he was a much bigger horse. How much weight did you have to put on him?
Well, Becky, I don't know if I was really even thinking weight. I was just thinking time. It's just like if you're recruiting somebody or a coach and you see this potential and you know it's there, how do you develop it? And with a human, you work with them. With a horse, you give him time. That's all I could think. And so that was my plan. Let's give him this time, and when he comes back, he'll be a little bigger, maybe a little fresher, probably a lot fresher, and see what he does. And when that happened, I don't know, it just turned a cog in him, and it must have built his confidence because he realized that he could do what he ever had to do to buck somebody else off, or if he didn't, they darn sure were going to win a lot of money on him. Now, he didn't have every trip in his life wasn't spectacular, but I'd say 97% of them were, whether they rode him or not. And as he got older, he got stronger. It was really amazing. He won his first title in 1977, and 6 years later won his fourth, and he was somewhere between 26 and 30 when he got taken away in the accident. But he got stronger as he went along. He got stronger, smarter, and knew why he was there, and he just enjoyed it. I mean, he wasn't one of those kind that would paw you or try and kick you. You could lead him around. I used to let Miss Black Velvet lead him around the arena when the Cowboys would draw him after he'd won a couple of them championships. I'd let the bareback rider before the bareback riding lead him around, and whoever was announcing would tell the folks this is the world champion bareback horse, and this man has drawn him, and he'll be the last one out tonight. And it brought up a lot of interest. And I truly believe the old horse knew what he was doing and really enjoyed it.
Bobby Jr.,
Bobby.
This is... go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Bobby Jean, go ahead, please.
Bobby Jr., this is Bobby Jean.
Hi, Bobby Jean.
How are you doing this evening?
Well, pretty good, thank you. Talking to all you young ladies, I'm doing just fine.
Well, with us talking about Mr. Smith, or Smith and Velvet, his first time that I could research back was 1968 that he went to his first NFR. How many trips to the NFR did he have throughout his lifespan?
Oh, boy. Now, if you'd have asked me that or sent me an email, I'd have looked it up before I got on the radio with you folks. But I do know this. I've got a picture of myself on him in 1977. Now, I don't know if he really went in, 1967. Maybe that was it. I'm not sure. But he went, oh, my goodness. After he started going, I think he went every year. Other than 77 was... if he went in 76, and 77 he was Horse of the Year. So, yeah, after that, I believe he probably went every year.
Well, and Bobby, something, this is your sister, and something that, a lot of people don't realize is that, one of the hardest things on a bucking horse is calling. And Mr. Smith, he just took to that like it was old school, and just like you said, he knew who he was, what he could do, and that was his game. He was on top of it for many years. Well,
sister, a lot of people don't realize how many rodeos that we had, or like the Harry Knight or Harry Vold Company had back in those days. Our stock went to 25 or 30 rodeos a year, and there was a lot of what I call the way games. I had a lot of old bucking horses. If you kept them close to home and took them 4 or 5 times a year, they were pretty good. But put that truck and send him down the road, and I'll tell you what, it had to be a special one to perform like that. And he was smart. He was the last one on the truck and the last one off. He didn't let the youngsters beat him around or anything. So he knew how to travel.
He knew how to travel, and he did it in style, Bobby.
Yeah.
What a great horse. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick station identification and commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more with my dad, Bobby Christensen Jr., so stay tuned.
ProRodeo.com.
All of us here at Terrestrial Silver are proud to offer a complete award lineup, from saddles, tack, and all in between. Terrestrial is your one-stop shop. Give the shop a call today to discuss your association award needs with one of our family design staff. And don't forget to shop online with us for that special gift. Our new online store features beautiful jewelry, tees, caps, and much more. Proud to be part of She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. That's Terrestrial Silver, Llano, Texas. Find us on Facebook or at terrestrialsilver.com.
Travel back in time to a new generation. Hi, this is Tamara with ProRodeo.com at Tamara's Table. Join us on April 20th at 4 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we'll be sharing with a very special guest. We'll see you there.
In today's busy world, it's nice to know that help is just a moment away. Andrea at Rodeo Spot Marketing is your one-stop shop. Full-service web and graphic design service, along with photo projects, printing services, marketing, and promotional. Let their staff take the stress off you and put a smile on your face. Always creative, always competitive priced, always working for you. That's Rodeo Spot Marketing. Find them at rodeospot.com. Tell Andrea the CB Cowgirls sent you. She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls is proud to have as our charity of choice Man Up Crusade. Man Up is working in the Western world to reduce domestic violence in society and contribute to social change by promoting safe and healthy relationships. Growing up in a violent home is one of the most terrifying and traumatic experiences a child can go through. Let's work together to help those afflicted to stand and know they're not alone. Find out more at manupcrusade.com. Take a stand and break the cycle of domestic violence.
ProRodeo.com.
Welcome back to She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. This is your host, Becky Christensen Mapston. I just want to say thank you so much if you're tuning in with us tonight. It is a special broadcast tonight. We are talking about the 2017 inductee class into the ProRodeo Hall of Fame. And as we mentioned, if you were listening earlier, it was just feels like a trifecta to our family for some of those that are calling or being inducted this year. If you are listening and you want to come into the host queue and visit with us, please be sure to press 1, and that will get you into Maria, and she will let us know that you're on the line. Now, our intention was to talk about all these 3 great trifectas, and we were starting with my dad, who, of course, he had our horse, Smith and Velvet. Some know him as Mr. Smith. I grew up with him as Smith and Velvet, and he was my favorite bucking horse. Dad blessed me with one of his world champion buckles. It was 1980, and I wear that proudly everywhere I go because he was just a special horse to me, and I know that he meant a great deal to my dad and to the rest of the family, but he was something special to my dad, so I'm very excited that I get to, and I know Aunt Vicki is and everybody else is just excited to see this horse that's well overdue getting into the hall, be inducted this year. So, Dad, thank you so much for coming on. I know it's a special time for you. I know Cody was supposed to be on tonight. I know he told me to give him a call and a reminder. I know Brett's trying to call in, so he may be on the show, and we'll talk about Cody a little bit. But, Dad, let's touch, too, since, he is your dearest and one of your best friends and brother. Tell us a little bit about that phone call you made to Corley and then finding out he got inducted.
Well, I remember I went back when Miss Klamath went in, and my dad had Mel Lambert come and talk about Miss Klamath. So when Warpaint was inducted, I had the announcer Mac Lockery come and talk, because sometimes you get up there in front of all them people and talking about old times and stuff, you choke up and can't say nothing. And so Mac come back. So when I got the call that Smith was going in, the first thing I did was call Randy Corley, and I said, brother, I got to hire you one more time, because we hadn't worked together for 10 years, but oh my goodness, there's so many rodeos we done together. And I said, I need you there at the induction to talk about Smith for me. Well, he said, don't worry, brother, I'll be there. I'm going in with him. So talk about catching by surprise, but that's how it went down. And it's funny, I was going to tell y'all one more little story about the yellow horse, and then I'll be quiet. But during his heyday, Bruce Ford was winning world championships, and Joe Alexander was winning them. And in fact, I think Bruce was only on him once and rode him. You couldn't throw Bruce off if you had him on a slingshot. But Joe was on him 6 times, and he won 3 first and got bucked off 3 times. And I'll never forget at Salinas, the last time Joe drew him in the short go, Smith started squatting down in the chute. And Joe looked at me and he says, Bobby, this SOB knows who I am. He knows it's me. And I got to thinking, my God, what a relationship between the world champion bareback rider and the world champion horse. And Smith happened to win that round, but they were 3-3, so they batted 500 against each other.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Bobby, this is your sister again. And, there's just so many special stories about Smith, and probably, one story that really strikes me is I can remember, being there at the ranch and living up there on the hill and all the the bucking horses were turned there, but Smith was always turned right into the lot outside of the houses and the pens and everything. And he knew he was really, really special. But like a lot of CB horses, Bobby, he was gentle to handle, and I think that he wasn't a wild horse. He was gentle, and he knew exactly everything that you wanted from him.
Well, sis, another little quick story. I don't tell a lot of people this, but he was so gentle. Sometimes I'd tie him up at the fence at a rodeo, and if one of my good friends that I knew, I'd let him get up and sit on him. And I laughed. The last guy to sit on Smith was Larry Lackman that owned the Shack Restaurant in Redding, California.
Oh, my gosh, in Redding, California.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
wow.
You could just find the fence, and you could get somebody up on him if you were just slow and nice and gentle, and he wouldn't do nothing. He'd just stand there and switch his tail and have another bite of hay or whatever he was doing, But that's the truth to that, and I know during the Velvet years, when Black Velvet promotions and stuff, I would let Miss Black Velvet lead him around the arena. I mean, heck, a kid could lead the horse around. He was just so gentle, so nice. So be it.
Wow. Well, Dad, I know that Smith had many, many fans, and that's one of the reasons, with us all being family, why Aunt Vicki and I had talked about this and wanted to do the show together, because not only is it a treat for all of us, but I know not only seeing Smith go in, Cody is on the line now, and I know, welcome, Mr. Cody Custer. Better late than never. I'm glad you could show up, but I know this is a special, congratulations to you. I know this is a special induction ceremony for you as well, so welcome to the show.
Very, very special, and I apologize for being late. I got sidetracked.
You missed all my Wild West stories, Cody.
Yeah, dadgummit, I'm sorry.
I'll tell it to you again when we get together. How's that sound?
That's right. Yes, sir. Yep. And I think Brett's
Cody,
coming on.
Yeah, I think he is. Brett, are you on the line as well?
I think so.
Ah, there he is.
Brett.
Well, so let's talk about
Cody,
this. So we have. Well, I'll turn it over to you, Vicki. But no, I was just going to say, this is what our show's all about. It's all about family, and I know Cody was pretty excited to get his induction ceremony and the reason, or his induction nominee, and the reason behind that, and he loved Smith and Velvet, growing up watching Smith and Velvet, and the timing that he's getting inducted. All things come in time, and it's all about timing. And we waited many years for Smith and Velvet to be inducted, and I know that. Cody, it had been 10 years since you were nominated, and it's special to you because of your son, Brett. So share with our listeners about that.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of different reasons, and I will say something about Velvet. That horse was one of my favorite bareback horses, probably the favorite bareback horse. I wanted to be a bareback rider when I was young. I just found out later in life that I rode bulls better than I rode bareback horses, but I was at a J.C. Trujillo bareback riding school when when J.C. got the call about the truck wreck and that Mr. Smith had been killed, and so it was a little of emotional deal because that was my my favorite bareback horse. So that's a big deal to me, being able to be inducted the same time as Smith and Velvet. Pretty sweet deal. Mr. Smith, I go back past the Smith and Velvet days, but yeah,
right.
great bucking horse. On
Becky,
the other side,
there's something Cody needs to hear.
You go right ahead, Dad.
Cody, I don't know if you remember this or not. I don't remember how young you and Jim Bob were there on the ranch and stuff, but when I took the rodeo company over, there was only 21, and one year I built that company up to 43 pro rodeos. And one weekend I had 3, and I didn't know what I was going to do because, they were just, there was my dad and uncle retired, so I talked them into going to one and the others and sent my good help with them. And Cody's folks, Jim Bob and Dixie, they went with me to Eureka, California. Your mom's secretary at the rodeo, and I don't remember, your dad probably flanked the horses, but we were really spread thin. I'll never forget that.
Yep.
Well,
yeah, that was hey. Anyway, yeah, that I remember that. We went on a fishing trip, and
you're right.
we went on a fishing trip, and my dad was entered in the calf roping and the bulldogging and everything.
And Mom was secretary.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. Those years were pretty awesome, and just kind of really built in me a more of a love for the sport. And I tell the story of catching a ride to Santa Maria, California, to meet Aunt Vicky and Uncle Danny, and go up there that summer before, and just it kind of molded me into wanting to be a rodeo cowboy. And that I think there's a lot of guys that ride good. There's not a lot of guys that can endure the road, and so really I grew up around all you guys and doing it, and it's just part of like second nature. So I think that was a big big attribute to my success in the sport too, because I love rodeoing and going.
Well, Cody, this is Aunt Vicky, and you were 11 years old that summer. I'll never forget it. And you were quite the little cowboy. So proud of the man that you've grown into and all that you do today to mentor our youth and to lift others up in the sport of rodeo, Cody. Congratulations on your induction. I just couldn't be more proud. But I'm also so proud, Cody, and I want you to introduce your son, Brett, because this is our younger generation coming up.
Yeah, Brett's on the line, and Brett, he's had some junior rodeo competition and some youth and high school competition. And this past week, he went to his very first PRCA rodeo in Lubbock, Texas, and ended up winning second place. And he won enough money to fill his permit, which I think he's going to stay on his permit the rest of this year and just kind of get ready for maybe a rookie run next year. Brett, you got anything to say to us about all that?
Yeah, I think just you helping me out by holding me back and stuff has kind of helped me see everything from a big perspective. And I don't want to jump into getting into this pro rodeo stuff too soon. Just hold off till next year to get my card and be able to have a whole solid rookie season instead of just jumping in halfway.
Well, and Brett, you're going to be college rodeoing as well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Full ride.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
He got a full ride scholarship from Southern Oklahoma State, which is where his brother and sister both went. So he's that's pretty exciting. Mike Wisniewski's the coach, and he's got a great program, and I think they're going to have 7 or 8 bull riders next year. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
That's wonderful.
Brett, this is Bobby Jean. I wanted you to tell our listeners, our friends that are kind of following along, was it any different getting on your first bull, holding your permit, compared to riding any other bulls?
No, not really. I mean, I kind of knew it was going to be a little bit different. I was at a higher level. I kind of was nervous, but then again, I wasn't. I was ready. A lot of work's gone into preparing me for this, and Dad's helped me out so much, and he's kind of held me back going too hard rodeoing until this last summer when he let me finally go a little bit, and it kind of just prepared me for this. And I don't really know how to explain it, I guess.
Well, Brett, I think you're doing an okay job.
Right. He's done a great job. Brett, this is Aunt Vicki, and I just want to ask you, like I said, your dad is a mentor to so many up-and-coming young cowboys. What is one of the most important lessons that your dad has taught you, Brett, not necessarily in the arena, but perhaps maybe out of the arena?
It's all about who you surround yourself with. Just always travel with winners, or surround yourself with people that are walking a good road. Don't get in with the bad crowd, I guess.
This is okay. So I've got a question. Dad, I got to ask you. Sitting here on the line, listening to the generations, what does it mean to you when you see that the sport of rodeo is just continually being passed on through the generations? When you see things like Brett filling his card.
Well, I think it's great, and I want to congratulate Cody because I haven't talked to him. My brother ain't there tonight, Mr. Corley, but congrats, Cody, and to Brett.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Your son, Brett, I understand a little bit, and maybe he'll agree with me. There is some nervousness and stuff getting on rough stock, but when that chute gate opens, I think all the nerves leave you. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, yeah. I turn that nervousness into, I guess, just fuel the fire, I guess.
Right.
How I see it.
I was on the back of the chute. I got on at Lubbock several times in my career, and I think that's the most nervous I've ever been in that Coliseum when Brett was But I know.
Cody, it's going to be great to see you there and your family, and I wish Randy Corley, my brother, was here with us. I guess he's off vacation somewhere. I'll have to talk to him about that. But
yeah.
Anyway, it'll be great that you're all there, and sounds like you've got a fine son there, and that's really great. It really makes me feel good.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby.
Well, I have to tell you, the time goes so fast, and it's 6:30, and, we could sit here all night and talk about stories, and I think that's what you're going to see happen this year at the ProRodeo Hall of Fame induction ceremony. But I'm excited to be able to bring my dad on, Cody on, Brett on, all of us as family, because it just goes to show you the close-knit family that rodeo is, and that family travels down through the generations, and you don't have to necessarily be blood to be family, but you can grow up around each other and call yourself family. And that's what a lot of us have done. And it's just really, I am so excited about this induction because to me it's just very bittersweet. And so, Dad, I love you. I thank you so much for sharing stories about Smith. Cody, I love you. You know you're my mentor, and I think the world of you. And Brett, I'm so proud of you. Your first rodeo, PRCA rodeo under your belt, and you've got a long, successful career ahead of you. I'm going to say goodnight to all of you. I'm going to turn it over to Bobby Jean to say her goodnights, and then we'll let Aunt Vicki close out the show. So we will see you guys next week, and be sure to look for the broadcast in the social media, out there in social media world in about a half hour. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bobby Jr., it was an absolute honor getting to visit with you this evening, and I look forward to the day that we can finally meet. Cody Custer, I absolutely adore, admire, and respect my modeling partner. I think you are one of America's heroes, and I want to congratulate you on your ProRodeo Hall of Fame induction. And I just want to say that the legacy of the Christensen family will live as long as there are horses that buck and the cowboys to ride them. God bless you all. Brett, it was nice visiting with you as well. I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, Bobby Jean, thank you so much. I have to say, to my dear brother, I love you. So proud to be part of this rodeo family. Cody and Brett, I'm doubly blessed because I'm right here in the middle. And, to have the Custer family on one side, the Christensens on the other. We look forward to seeing you all in August in Colorado Springs at the ProRodeo Hall of Fame. I love you all. So proud to be part of your life. We're going to close out tonight's program with another great friend of She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls, and that would be Miss Crystal Lyons with a little cowgirl logic. Good night, everyone, and God bless.
Well, this is Crystal Lyons, and I just made it home after 2 days of hard driving, and I was just as foggy-headed as could be. And my son had laid my 30-30 on the bed, and I knew it was loaded, but in my stupor, I just decided to make sure there wasn't a bullet in the chamber, so I cocked it. Hello, how smart is that? Now there is a bullet in the chamber. So being the safe gun handler that I am, I stood by the bed with gun pointed down while I was trying to release the hammer. Blam! Job accomplished. I had just blown a hole smooth through my bed with a 30-30. I'm telling you, all brain fogginess was instantly gone. And though it was an incredibly stupid stunt, people everywhere are doing much worse than this on a regular basis, blowing holes in their marriage bed. We take each other for granted, begin to fantasize, etc., etc. Next thing you know, we have gone into stupefied mode, and we are the loaded gun. One stupid move. Just one. And whether your mate finds out about your indiscretions or not doesn't change the fact that you have just blown a huge hole through your marriage bed. The atmosphere in the relationship with your marriage partner has been altered. Our sexuality is like a loaded gun. Handle it wisely and responsibly, it protects. Handle it carelessly and people get destroyed. When I shot a hole through my mattress, it happened suddenly. But when a hole is blown through a marriage bed, it approaches slowly and with lots of opportunities to turn and change the outcome. What may look and feel and taste like heaven will leave you looking as stupid as I did. Only difference is we can laugh about my stupidity. Adultery blows holes through people's hearts. This is Crystal Lyons and Cowgirl Logic. For more, go to cowgirllogic.net.
Travel back in time to a new generation. Hi, this is Tamara with 4radio.com at Tamara's Table. Join us on April 20th at 4 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we'll be sharing with a very special guest. We'll see you there.
4radio.com.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check, in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.